Hey everybody, how's it going? Lord Josh here once again. Welcome back to the channel. Good to see you. Hope you enjoy your stay. Just before I get started, I've got something to show you. You know when you're watching those sort of criminology documentaries where you have serial killers and they're being interviewed in prison on death row, they always wear these kind of sunglasses. Now I'm not sure what the heck was I thinking when I purchased these. 80s serial killer vibes. I call them my murderer's glasses. Well, I attempted to rewrite my fashion sins and I've bought these stylish and sexy violet wraparound with the tortoise shell. What do you think? Much better. A big improvement. I'll leave these to the inmate on death row. I don't know why on earth I purchased those, but these are fantastic. So today's video is quite an interesting one actually. Age and the occult. Is there a certain age where you reach maturity where you can say now's the time to practice magic, or is there no age where you can just plug in at any time? Now a lot of people will say when you're very young, let's say pre-teens, you shouldn't get into magic, you should be doing other stuff. But I can understand the argument that some people have when they say when you're a kid, just focus on being young. Just enjoy your childhood and your life. Don't worry about it. And I'm kind of in agreement with those kind of people. I will also say that it's kind of like comparing the fashion world to the occult world in a way. Because when I was younger, I didn't used to dress up when I was 11 years old. And I didn't really start dressing up until about 2012, late 2012. Because I don't think you need to at that age. You know, it's not something that's a priority, and I feel like magic isn't really a priority, at least not ritual magic. A lot of people when they're, let's say from the ages of about 5 to about 12, your whole life is magic, but it's natural imagination. You don't have to light a candle, you don't have to put on a ritual robe. Doesn't involve any complexity or technicality whatsoever. It's just your own mind and it's all coming from within. That's beautiful. Why complicate it and why throw grimoires in the mix? There's no need for it. When I was that age, I had a very vivid imagination on its own without even trying. I've still got that today, but back then I didn't cultivate it. It was there naturally, as easy as breathing. We've all been playing with our figurines and our dolls, and we get lost in that world, that completely fictional world where we transport ourselves into a different plane of existence. And it's beautiful. And a part of that belongs in the occult world as well. When you're in your temple, in your altar space, and you go deep into a trance or a state of flow, you're kind of in an imaginary realm where you yourself are in control, or at least partially in control of the situation. That for me feels very beautiful. And I feel like it kind of comes from those childhood dreams and fantasies when you were young, and how easy it was to slip into a different frame of consciousness, into a different frame of awareness. When you're younger and you're playing with figures or toys, you're kind of in a bit of a meditation, because you're focusing purely on that fictional world that you yourself have created. It's very, very beautiful. And of course, as you get older, you're told you've got to grow out of that, leave the silly stuff behind, become an adult and get into the serious world. And I think that's where there is something's lost in translation there. I think I've been drinking, can you tell? Just a second. Now with me, you all know this, I do not take myself too seriously whatsoever. Never have, never will. I can't understand why some people really believe they're going to get out on the other side of life and make it out alive. No, you're not. We're all going to die eventually, so you might as well just be as wacky and as zany as you can be and enjoy the weird and wonderfulness, exactly like my show, Weird and Wonderful Wardrobe. Enjoy the wackiness of life and try to match the absurdity of what's going on with your life with your own temperament and your own demeanor. That's kind of what I do. But I feel like a lot of that has its roots and its origins in how you were when you were younger. So for me, 11 years old, too early to be practicing ritual magic? I think so. but I was practicing other forms of meditation, magic, fantasy realms. That's pure magic in its most wonderful form. And I'm going to pitch a question right now to my viewers, and I want you to be honest here. What do you think is the most important aspect of magic? Is it the tools? Is it the robes? Is it the intent behind the spell? Is it the right hand versus left hand path, polarity? What is it? Now, in my personal opinion, I can say what I think it is. I believe it's the imagination. No matter what culture you are, no matter if you're an adept or a novice, every magician that's ever walked this planet and ever will, has to use a huge amount of imaginative power. And if you can't do that for whatever reason, then magic is really not for you. But all of us, no matter what path we're on, we're all doing that. Every single spell that you ever attempt to cast makes its first appearance in your mind, in your imagination, and then from there it manifests. So when you're younger, a lot of people don't realize, and I read this all the time in self-help books, and it's true that you're trying to connect with what they call the lost child, and what that lost child is, it's yourself when you were younger, when you had that complete, constant contact with your imagination, that it never ever left you when you were really young. And you could tap into it at the click of a finger, and you wouldn't even have to try. There's no effort required whatsoever. If you wanted that power to be able to imagine anything, you could do it. What happened to that? Where did you lose that skill? And I think as we get older, it just gradually disappears, which is why when Taoists talk about opening the yin-yang eyes to see ghosts and spirits, they say that everybody has yin-yang eyes until they reach a certain age where you no longer have the ability to see the spirit realms. And I feel like that's true. As you get older, perhaps you lose some form of your connection to the other side. We've got to make sure that doesn't happen. So in my opinion, magic and the imagination are really one of the same. So I feel like if you're on the younger side, and I don't know my audience's demographic, I feel like most people who watch me, I could be wrong, but I feel like they're older than me, because I'm quite a young occultist. That's why I don't get any respect on this damn website. People say, oh, that Lord Josh is 24 years old. Why would you listen to him? They'll write him off. And it's got nothing to do with the flamboyant suits or the wigs, I'm sure. That's just my age, right? Well, that's the thing. But at the same time, being a younger person in what I perceive to be, I wouldn't say an older person's community or pastime, but certainly most of the people I come across are late 30s, early 40s. It's not often that you see someone in their early to mid 20s that's really passionate about the occult. It's usually an older person's hobby. But when you do see the younger guys, and I kind of cringe, they are taking themselves so damn seriously, and they're trying to portray this sort of serious, intimidating character where they're trying to freak you out on the videos. They're trying to use spooky shit, and they're trying to make you, oh my god, this guy's scary, look at this evil black magician. Well, I don't play that aesthetic. I don't like it. I couldn't play it. Now, I must admit, sometimes when I'm talking about Taoist necromancy, I get the urge to sort of put on a black cloak and go, you know what I mean? Get the old knife out, go psycho. But that's just hokey. It's nonsense. You shouldn't really try to pursue that image, in my personal opinion. So being someone who is on the younger side of this community, I see what it's like, and I get people messaging me. I had one guy said, I want you on my show. And I said, yeah, absolutely, I'll come on the show. This was about 2 or 3 years ago. And he said, how old are you? And I told him my age. And as soon as I said that, he's like, oh, I don't think I want you on. Now, I wasn't sure whether to be offended. Do I look a lot older? I mean, I know I dress like an almost 2,000-year-old man when I dress in my robes as Kong Ming. So maybe that ages me prematurely. But maybe that could also work in my favor in a community like this. Who knows? So yes, age. I think ritual magic, yeah, be careful with it. I think a good age to start ritual magic, in my opinion, is about, I would say 16. I feel like when you're 16 years old, you've got more of an identity and you're molding who you want to be. You know, you haven't completely figured it out yet, if anybody has, but I feel at that age you could start to take some degree of responsibility for what you're getting yourself into. I feel like, especially pre-teens, I feel like that could become very, very dangerous, in my opinion. And you could make a lot of mistakes. You could invite things into your house, into your body, that you won't know how to get rid of. We're talking full-on possessions. And that's the danger of social media, is you can watch crazy people like me and you can look at the videos and say, I'm going to try this. But if you're 12 years old, it might not be the best thing. Maybe wait a few years and come back when you've got more of a mature head on your shoulders, a little bit more wiser about the ways of magic, where it can fail and cause you terrible, terrible side effects. But at the same time, engaging in full-on imagination, getting lost in your own weirdness and wonderfulness. Now you can do that at any damn age, and I completely support that. So, hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm going to finish my wine here, and I'll see you soon for more videos. Take care.